Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know much about Finland. You speak English? Understand a little bit English? Dutch? Okay, then we are on the same level. We are on the same level. The only thing I know about Finland is Jari Litmanen. You know Jari? From Ajax Amsterdam, the soccer player of glass. And we know Helsinki a little bit, and we know you have severe winters. And you do some hunting, and some ice fishing, and sauna. That's all I know, but for sure you don't know much about Holland. So I will tell you something about Holland. Holland is a small country with many people, 17 million. And we have about 70 million opinions about anything. But it's a nice country to live in. And we do a lot of things, but what we do very good, Martijn, you can confirm this, is that we are big in agricultural things. That's our main thing. I think it's our main thing. So, to tell you a little bit about myself, my dad was a grower. His dad was a grower. His dad was a grower. And we go back 300 years. The same from my mom's side. So there is some experience in the family, but I must say, the reason that it's like that, there was no escape. We came from a little village near Den Haag. You know Den Haag? The city of Den Haag? Okay. And all you could do was starve or be a grower, or work with a grower. So there was no escape. That's why the reason we have this long tradition of growers. I'm one of 8. Mom and Dad had 8. I'm the only grower. The rest went to school and university, whatever. I didn't want to go to school. I left school when I was 16 because I wanted to be a grower, like my dad. But not like my dad, because I left my dad when I was 17. I said, this is not the way I want to go. I go a different direction. And that's what I have done more or less my whole life. Because I said to myself when I left school, I want to be a grower at 20. But I didn't have any money, so there was a little bit of a struggle. And I came up with a solution. There was this older cucumber grower in our area. We live up north. Are you guys listening? Okay. We live up north, and he needed a grower and I needed money. So we made a deal. And he said, if you can take care of my business for 1 year, you can buy it and I'll be your backup to go to the bank. In those days, businesses in Holland were pretty expensive. Then we went to a low. At the moment it's okay. So I needed quite a few guldens in those days. Now it's euros. Same over here, euros? Okay. But anyway, to make a long story short, I was a grower when I was 21, cucumber grower. And the business I got, somebody's on the phone. The business I bought was 1 hectare, and in those days we were already on slabs. I don't know when the Finnish were on slabs, but maybe also in those days already. Rock wall? Is that correct? I think so, eh? And there was a virus in my greenhouse. In 1979, I bought a greenhouse, 100% dirty of virus. Let's not talk about the GMVV, I just call it the bad virus. You know there are more viruses, but okay. And I was sitting with my brother. He was chemistry, scheikunde. He was doing something in chemistry, and he was smart. He went to university, and I said, John, I have this problem with the virus, and I think I have a solution how it might work. How can I control this problem? And he said, well, Ron, you might just be right on that. And we did the procedure, but in those days, we stopped in October, and we started in February. You guys grow 12 months a year, I believe. But in those days in Holland, it was common to late October, late January. So we had a long period of empty greenhouse. So we had time enough to experiment and to clean and to do whatever we wanted. And it worked just fine. I started at the 1st of February in 80, and we have never seen one virus plant back again. So that was nice. But after 3 years, I was a little bit done with cucumber growing. I said I need an extra challenge, and I started a small propagation next to it. And 7 years later, I had 3 hectares of cucumbers, 3 crops a year, and a propagation. And I said to myself, well, I have to make a choice what I want. And I was done growing cucumbers. You know, cucumbers every day the same, harvesting, twisting, whatever, but it's pretty much the same. And I was done with that. I said, I go into propagation. And I went into propagation, and that was just fine. If you want to make some money, do propagation. But you have to be solid in your shoes, because you have to deal with you guys. And that's a tough audience. Growers is not the easiest customers to work with. If it's okay, if it's not okay, okay, I have my opinion about it. But I did that for 33 years, and I was done with that. After the thing is, when you propagate, nothing to do with virus, but I think I made about 100 million plants in those years. It's quite a few plants, because growers in Holland, in our area, are big. Uh-oh. 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 In our area, cucumber growers have the tendency to be big, 10 hectares, 12 hectares, 6 hectares, 8 hectares. So you need, as a propagator, you need lots of glass to fulfill the amount of plants. And as a propagator, I was sitting on the phone, and the phone is going up every day. And when growers call, especially the cucumber growers, 3 times a year, they have 7 times something to say. The plant's too big, the plant's too small. The plant's too dry, the plant's too wet. You're too early, you're too late, and always too expensive. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. And after so many years, I said, I'm a little bit done with that. I did consultancy for the growers, I sold them, I made them, I even went on the trucks once in a while, in the Volvo trucks. So, a few years before that day, I bought the testing facility in Riskhantering. It was free on the market. I said, that would be nice, to go back to small business, and to do what I do most, and what I love to do is just growing. Being in the greenhouse, sitting on a pipe, and looking at my plants, how things are going. Do I need more pipe? Do I need more fan? Do I need whatever you do as a grower? And that was the day I decided, let's do it. And 3 years later I said, be done with the plants, go into this. So I went from 50 people working for me to 1. That was quite a relief. I'm sick, I need vacation, I need to go to the physio, my wife's sick, I have to take kids from school. There's always something. Yeah, that's what it is. When you're a boss, there's the bus. You know about that. That's what it is. And I finally said to myself, well, this is what I should have done 35 years ago. Every day, something else. Cucumber grower, picking, de-leafing, whatever. Fertilizer, spraying, the red spider. Give it a name. Propagation, I explained to you. So, I finally am in a stage of life I enjoy very much. Flying all over the world, talking to lots of people, explaining, learning. You learn a lot, because you think you know a little bit, but you know nothing. You don't know shit, because there's so much going on worldwide. Take a plane, go to the States, go to Mexico, go to Holland. Things are changing big time, big time. But anyway, I want to show you a little slide. How was that working? I'm BBC, born before computer. Can you help me out? Get it going?
From this part? Or
Yeah, take this one. Take this one.
You can use this.
Okay, this little arrow?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my little company in Holland, in Riskhantering. This is the flag of our province. We up north. And those people are not working for me. I just put the cars there to look like nice, just. It was all. This used to be from the government. We had 4 in Holland, 4 proeftuinen. 4 proeftuinen is called places where the government worked together with the growers to invest, to find out new things, water, labor, diseases, whatever. And in 2000, I think it was 2000, they said, we stop with this, the growers have to do it themselves. So I'm one of the 4. And I bought this place in 8, and it looked like shit, but now it's okay. Now it's okay. It was empty for 8 years. If you have a greenhouse empty for 8 years, you know how it looks. Looks like shit. This is my office. This is where I sit. To give you a small impression, What is that guy doing? This is what I'm doing. We work for universities, growers, just growers, suppliers, ENSA seeds maybe one day. We were pretty close this fall. We were pretty close. They were almost coming to me for the virus. Technical companies, whatever. Food and pharmacy. We used to do a lot in pharmacy as well. I will show you that. You know what this is? Cucumbers. Without the virus. I think this was a test for Monsanto. You recognize this? We make our own plants. We have 31 little greenhouses, so we can do a lot. This is my right hand. My only hand, I must say. She's the only lady working for me. Here you can see some peppers, some medicinal plants, some outside testing, some tomatoes, and some roses. We are big in roses. The water, we only use rainwater. That's cheap. We Dutch, cheap. Okay, this is roses for ourselves. Well, this is what it is. Have you ever been to such a company? Do they have companies like that in Finland? No? No? That's too bad. Because I would strongly advise you to start one. Because now you have to buy all the knowledge and then you can do it together. Would be a smart idea. You don't have to make it big, but I go to Ontario a lot. And in Ontario they made the same business like I have for the Canadian growers. They invest in themselves. It's quite expensive, but then you don't have to go to Holland or anywhere. We have a question, do the test. If you have any questions, no? This is a good audience. We're done in 5 minutes, yeah? Okay. Okay, this is clear. Can somebody put up the other one? Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, I was invited here for a little talk about the virus. Let's call it the bad virus. It is in Finland. Over here there was virus with some growers. Am I correct? Yes, I hear yes, yes. You can speak out a little bit, that's nice for me. I'm not the only one that wants to talk. When there's virus in Finland, it's not going to go. Believe me, it's here to stay. And it will ever be there as long as you grow cucumbers. No escape. I fly a little bit, like I just told you. My dad was a cucumber grower. His dad was a cucumber grower. And his dad. Further back, I don't know. There were no greenhouses. I know virus as long as I know cucumbers. Martijn, am I correct? That's what it is. And it will never go. But you have to deal with it, and you have to fight it. 3 things. Sometimes growers don't know it. So I hear people say, well, I've seen it, this plants, this type of plants for 10 years, but I didn't know it was virus. Okay. Sometimes they go into denial. You know what this means, into denial? Understand? Yeah. Okay, give me a reaction, that's nice for me too. They go into denial, and sometimes they don't know how to fight it. So 3 big things. Don't know, denial, don't know how to deal with it. But still, the virus will stay. It will never go away. It's like cancer. We have to die on some kind of a disease, heart attack, whatever, but the cancer will always be there, period. Do I make myself clear? Okay. Like I told you, at my business we work for several companies, and at first it was hard to get customers. Why is that? I'll show you. If this is Holland, let's say this is Holland, there's the Westland. That's what the action is. You heard about the Westland. Yeah? And I live up there. So companies from the Westland don't want to go twice a week to me. That's a long distance. So at first it was hard to get customers for my new company. But there was money, so it was not a big issue. I survived the first 3 years. But slowly, companies like Monsanto, Rexwan, Rose companies, they said, okay, that guy's a grower. He understands our business, and we can give him some dirty shit. Because pepino, cucumber bomb virus, that's just dirty shit. let's take it to Rome. And I was happy to have them, because I know how to deal with virus, and they pay good money. Everybody's happy. And they came up to me. At first it was the firma Rijkswaan. Sorry, Martijn, but that's nothing I can change. The firma Rijkswaan came up to me and said, Ron, we would like you to do a test, blah, blah, blah. Is that okay with you? I said, that's fine with me. But afterwards, we want you to clean the greenhouse again. She said, no, that's no problem. I can live with that. Yeah, is that possible? I said, that's possible. No, that's impossible. Okay, impossible, well, I'll take care of it. So we got going, and this is how it works. They bring you plants or seeds and make their own plants. And after 7 or 10 or 14 days, they make them sick on the Catalins. You know the Catalins? The first 2 small leaves. They put virus in every plant. And it's always in May, so there's lots of light, it's hot, and they get virus. What do you see after 7 days? Virus. We grow for 10 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks. Take them out, slabs out, everything out, clean, and they give you new seeds for new plants. After 14 days, they take the leaves and they do the ELISA test, because they want to be sure that the virus is gone out of your little greenhouse. You follow me? Okay. They take the leaves, always from the head, do the test, takes 48 hours, more or less. Yeah, you're clean. How's that possible? I said, oh, that's for me, that's my little secret. I'm clean. And they come back, and we start all over again. Give you the virus, make 6 varieties, and okay. 2nd year, Monsanto came. Same story. The 3rd year, they came for the pepino. Can you do pepino testing for us? Pepino, mildew, pepino, sometimes double, sometimes single. And every time, the same story, clean again. So there is a solution. Next to the story of Martijn, but he's going to tell about his varieties in virus resistance, there is an opportunity to get your greenhouse clean. I'm not killing the virus, outside there's virus, but in the greenhouse. So 3 years ago, I always did my little magic trick with the virus. I said to myself, there's business in this. There is business in virus. It's a sad story, but there's business in cancer. There's business in hospitals. So there's business in virus. That's life. We live in an economy. We have to make some money. And I went up to a grower in our area, 2 hectares of glass. Is that average in Finland, 2 hectares? Is that bigger or smaller? Average is bigger over here. Bigger here or smaller here? Small, okay. Hoeveel glas heeft Willem Hartman? Willem Hartman heeft 60 hectare, 50 hectare? Totaal?
60 hectares.
Yeah, well, this grower, I think he has about 60 hectares of glass. Peppers, tomatoes, cukes, organic, slabs. And I said, well, Wim, his name is Wim, I'd like to rent 2 hectares from you. Well, there's no problem, what do you want to do? I said, I want to have this particular greenhouse in my area, Christineveen, virus. He said, but Ron, cannot do this, there's virus. I said, there's no problem, I take care of the virus. Impossible. I said, I want your greenhouse, give me a price, and I deliver the cubes to you. He does his own selling the cubes to Albert Heijn. He said, okay, let's make a deal. We made a deal. 4 weeks later, we put in the cubes. We had done a little magic trick. Well, the trick. We did 3 crops. We started at the 14th of February. We ended the 1st of November. We had 175 cucumbers. No virus. But the cucumbers we made went to his warehouse for packaging and whatever. And he came up to me in July. He said, Ron, how is that possible? You have no virus. I have virus all over the place, but you have no virus. I said, Wim, this is what I do. This is the little magic. Okay, and he said to me, well, Ron, come up to me at the end of the year, October, November. I want to sit and talk to you about what you do. Next to that, we have a huge cucumber organization in Yrkesakademin, 12 hectares. Koos is 12 hectare? Yeah. 5 hectares with overhead light, high wire, 3 crops, own plant making. He's a friend of mine. His name is Koos de Vries. And 2 years ago, he was growing cucumbers and he said to me, Ron, I'm going bankrupt. listen up, I am going bankrupt. He couldn't make a living on 12 hectares of cucumbers because of the virus. He had 100% infection of virus. July, August. Hot weather, what happens? Let's say it's a Monday afternoon, after picking. Sun is burning, 28 Celsius. How do you think the crop looks? Can you picture this? 180,000 plants. That's what they do. If the virus is bad, that's the way they hang. Martijn, am I lying? That's what they do. And he came up to me and said, Ron, you gotta help me out. I didn't believe in your little trick, but now I see it. I see your greenhouse, and I see mine. We sat down and talked. Excuse me, we talked. Is there some water available for me? Irene? Is there a glass of water?
Oh, okay. I'll give you one. I'll bring it.
We sat down and talked. We talked for almost a day, because it's a big organization. And he said, well, Ron, I have to try this. I have to do this. Otherwise, it's going to be my last year. It was 15. We sat and talked, and he did the job. He did the job properly. In 15, one of the best years ever in Holland, in cucumber land. A fantastic year. I don't know the reason why, whatever. Hot weather, problems in Poland, I have no idea. No virus in his greenhouse. So he went from almost bankrupt to back in business again. Super. Because of a little piece of paper and some talking. That's nice. So for myself, I made the point that what I do works. And it's very simple what I do. And sometimes I go to myself and say, am I lying? Am I lying? No, I'm not lying. I prove it time and time and time again on my own business that it's working. I'm not a liar. But I have shown it to Koos and I've shown it to myself. Last year, the 1st of October, I did a big presentation in Bleiswijk. You know the name Bleiswijk? Been there, done that. At Delphi nowadays. There's this company, Delphi, yeah? And the cucumber growers, they knew I was coming. Well, Ron's coming, there's something about the virus, To be honest, I have a little bit of a name in Holland, as a grower and as a plant raiser and as somebody with his own opinion. And they did a talk, but I didn't do the talk. People that took care of the crop, let's say that controlled the crop, I had people controlling the crop, did the talk. And at that time, there were 150 people, I believe, there was a very negative response. So I was kind of disappointed. I was really disappointed. I said to myself, I'm bringing one of the biggest changes in cucumber land since 15 or 20 years, and I get negative response. Why was that a negative response? I said to myself, what's happening? And that grower came up to me, a huge cucumber grower from the Westland, said, I am not going to pay for your knowledge. And I said, why not? He said, well, you're a cucumber grower, you have to give it to me. Hello, wake up. And I said to him, when my wife goes to the supermarket, she has to pay, otherwise she doesn't get any stuff. That's business, that's called the word of business. Yeah, but for sure you've stolen it, and you haven't proved it, and blah, blah, blah. And I got home very, very sick and disappointed. So I said to myself, stop, let's just stop with this. Let's find something new. I already started that behind my back. Let's find something new. But then, in the middle of November, a few growers called me from Brabant. You know Brabant? The southern part of it. Bro, can you come over? We want to talk to you. I said, okay, who are you? I didn't even know the guy. Well, I'm this and this, but don't tell anyone that I asked you. Don't tell them. I said, why? Yeah, I don't want my neighbors to know. They don't want to pay you. Dutch entrepreneur level. Blah, blah. But okay, that happened last year, and ever since, we have some customers, a little bit all over the world, that believe in it, work with it, and have good results. So, the main reason I'm telling this little extra story is that I'm not a liar. It has proved, it has a proven system. And I will show you a little slide, what we have done. And then I'm almost done, we can go home. Test to prove, virus in the crop and grow at the same slabs again. So it was a double test. Imagine this, 2 greenhouses, 400 square meters, not too small for a test. In one, slabs, dirty plants, and the other one, slabs, dirty slabs, plants. One greenhouse, we took out everything. We did the procedure, the protocol, and the other one, we left the 6 slabs, 100% dirty, took out the plants, did as well the cleaning up, and planted it again. Yeah? You can follow me? Okay. Wat moet ik nou doen? Oh, just sit over this one? Gaat het niet? Oh, dat moet zo doen, ja. Oh, gaat veel zo snel. You read English? Yeah? Oh, that's great. Then I don't have to talk. Then I can read. I can go on? Yeah? You can give me some response. Okay, you can see. Next one. Well, this you recognize. You recognize? You do, Martijn. Yeah, but you work with it every day. It wouldn't be good if you didn't. Well, this is bad virus. To be honest, last year, July and August, I didn't know I was going to be standing in Finland to have a little talk. Otherwise, I would have taken a better machine to make some better pictures, but it was all done by my iPhone because all the work in those crops I do myself. So it's always in a hurry, always in a hurry. But you can see in the daytime, what I just told you, when it's hot and they have the bad virus, you can forget production. You just can't forget production. Am I right? The difference. Yeah, the slabs in 29 not changed, 30 will be changed. So I took a huge risk to put new plants on dirty slabs. Not one plant here and one plant over there, no, every plant sick. But you're an entrepreneur, you do some things. Okay, in section 29, we put virus resistance tolerant varieties, Bonaire and Delight. Roxana on the new slabs. Roxana is different. You know Roxana? The variety for sure, eh? Well, if you have a virus, the Roxana will pick it up at first. Prologue and Roxana. Sorry for Rexvan, but that's what it is. I'm only saying what it is. If there is a virus, Roxana, virus. Sowing date, no, that's not that exciting. Meanwhile, we cleaned up. New slabs, all slabs. 29, you can see all slabs. And you can see this is dirty, yeah? You see the gutter? That's all kind of, ja, Holland zeggen we drek, hoe moet je dat vertalen? Little garbage, little. Okay, so this is just the situation when I disinfected the greenhouse. I wouldn't recommend it to do. I would say clean up properly, but I had no time. And I will show you that I had no time. So slabs out, slabs in. And if you can see this watch, I do it myself. You can see that I'm not a liar. Okay. We planted on the 1st of August, disinfected new slabs. Well, maybe you can confirm this, Martijn, but what I always say to cucumber growers that has not been working with virus, always look at the head. Always look at the head. That's where you see the virus first. Later you see it in the leaves or in the cukes. Okay, but always look at the head. So I took lots of pictures, but the head. What I did, you see these are bright heads. Already cute, I'm fast. Okay, what I did, when you want to prove something, I can say to you guys, well, this is what I've done, and this is what it is. But then I can be easy a liar. I can make up a big story without it. Okay. So I invited 5 cucumber growers, very good solid cucumber growers, to confirm what I was doing and to put it on paper. And I also did it by DLV. Nowadays DLV, you know DLV? The consultants from DLV, that's a huge organization. And I said to the CEO, I said, I want you to give me Piet van Aardigem, maybe he's familiar over it, I don't know. Because Piet is the guy with the most knowledge of the virus. Makes sense. And I said to those guys coming in every week in the greenhouse, go in by yourself, get dressed, don't bring me the virus, get dressed. Martijn is going to tell you about that. Get dressed and check every plant. Write me a report, whatever you see, yes or no virus, or Mixfrella or whatever. And they did. This is a report from Koos de Vries. He happens to be my best friend, but he's also a businessman and an entrepreneur, and he's not going to lie. Well, it's in Dutch, but it says, oh yeah, it's even in English, no vaccine virus at Pitium. And then the plants were already 3 weeks in the greenhouse. Here we have the report from the DLV, and it says, no virus in the crop. I can make a long story a little bit short. Cucumber proof, no virus in the crop. It's week after week after week. This is Hans Polman, you know the name Hans Polman? They have been in Finland, those guys, with some meetings, Hans and Theo Polman, but maybe a long time ago when they were still drunk a lot, and you guys too. He said to me, Ron, you was in this compartment, I haven't seen any virus. We talk about cucumber growers with 30 years of experience, with and without the virus. You see the little head, it's clean. Well, this is not too clear. This head is beautiful. It's again my hand. It's a clean picture. This is the DLV, Delphi nowadays. Both greenhouses run no symptoms of the virus. Week after week. This is a German grower. Ken je koeken in Duitsland? Don't think so, eh? This is a German grower. He used to be a customer of mine in propagation. I said, Andreas, can you come over and do some checking on me? Because in Germany, the virus is huge. Everybody has virus. He said, oh, Ron, this would be the solution for me. Okay, this is the Rijkswaan. This is by email, and they did the ELISA test for me in the last week of the crop. Or one of the last weeks of the crop. Because we can say it, but it still can be there. Latent. You call it latent, hè? Latent aanwezig zijn, latent. So I had to check before I went to Bleiswijk for the big meeting. Ooh, I have to be sure there's no virus over there. So the results of the samples, clean. Ooh, I was very happy that day. Very happy. Read this. And again, I'm not taking the virus out of Finland, or out of Germany, or out of Mexico, because wherever you go, there's virus. But you can do it. You can get clean again. And that is the problem. And I think this is the big one. Because shell life does go back dramatically when you have virus in your cucumbers. It takes off 60, 70, 80% of your shell life. That's for the final customer, the consumer. But do you guys have any idea how much production you can easily lose on virus? Because it's not long in Finland. Have you reaction, please? Yeah, we know. No, we don't know. No idea? Martijn?
Estimated it's can be up to 25%.
At least. At least. But what you don't pick, you don't miss. And that's the dangerous one. What you don't pick, you don't miss. Do you understand this message? It's very simple. What you don't pick, you don't miss. But at the end, last year we had 80 kilo. Now we have 55. But like I just told you, I travel a little bit at the moment. Because virus is huge in Mexico. It's huge in Canada. It's terrible. In Canada it's Australia, Germany, in Holland it's big too. And I was with this, I just told Martijn, I was Friday and Saturday I was in Montreal at this greenhouse operation, and I think it was about 20 hectares. 6 hectares of cucumbers, organic. But organic in Canada, maybe in Finland, I don't know, it's like growing on slabs in Holland. If you grow organic in Holland, you have to work again like 50 years ago in the soil. But in Canada, you just take containers, compost, some soil, at the end you throw it out, but you can do whatever you want. Almost. Like this. Yeah? Yeah, that's what growers do. That's what growers do. Tell me about it. I'm a grower. And this CEO, he picked me up from the airport, nice guy, and we were talking in the car, and he said to me, Ron, on my 6 hectares, in 16 this year, he said, I lost 1.5 million Canadian dollars. He said, how you know it? He said, well, I know the production from 13 and 14, and I know my production from now. With the same people, with the same weather, with the same conditions, with even better prices. Because organic is sky high in Canada and US. So he said, Ron, no matter what you charge me, you gotta help me. So I'm willing to help you, and I charge not. Let's do decent business. $1.5 million in 1 year. And it's too bad for him, because this year he added, you know what it means added? He built another 8 hectares. 15,000 lux, 200 millimoles, dat geloof ik, micromole. The finest. He said, well, I am a little bit in trouble. If I get the virus, they start planting this Monday. But okay, I think we got it covered. So this is what virus does to you. Pepino, do I have a few minutes for pepino?
Yeah, you have.
Okay.
Okay.
If I have to stop, just tell me, I go.
Yeah. You still have like 17 minutes.
Say again?
17 minutes until up to
Oh, then
12
I'm
o'clock.
done.
Yeah, go ahead.
But why don't you ask me questions?
How much does it cost?
Huh?
How much does it cost? It's expensive to have a restaurant.
No, not that expensive, no. Well, you know, back to basic, I'm just a grower. So I understand the growers. I don't have to sell today, don't give a shit. I was invited, then I tell another story, and I just go home. If people need me, I go back. I have no planning, no organization for the next 5 years. That's what it is, day-to-day basis. Pepino, as well as the...
Ron,
Yes.
can you tell the price for your service? Because that's what Patrick was asking.
Oh,
What
that's
do
not...
you charge?
What I charge?
Yeah.
I charge with a minimum of 1 hectare, 1 day fee, a ticket, and 1,400 euros. So if you have 10 hectares, you still pay 14 cents a square meter. And if you have 5,000 square meters, you pay 40 cents, but then double up. Otherwise, I'm losing money. So
40 or 14?
14.
14.
It's too cheap, I know. I know. Well, let's finish this one up. I think I made a little bit of a mistake by selling my knowledge cheap. And you know why? When you sell knowledge cheap, people think it's not working. If I was to say 60 cents a square meter, wow, that's a lot of money. When you have 10 hectares, it's 60,000 euros. That's a lot of money. I said, yeah. I said, well, that's not decent. So in 15, we had the average price of cucumbers was 28 cents. In general, in average, I'm saying, in average, they take 180. A little bit more, a little bit less. So I said to the cucumber growers, give me half a cube and I'll help you out. 14 cents. That's the price worldwide. And if I fly, I need a ticket and I need a fee for the days I work. So I think it's fair. Pepino works on the same base. We can cover that as well. But in Holland, you know how it works in Holland with the pepino? The plants get infected at the propagation. I think it's a shitty system. When I was a propagator, I refused to do it. I didn't do it. I made my own business sick. Come on. But the propagators there's no escape. They have to do it or big customers walk. And if they all do it, they all face the same problem. That's called competition. I did some pretty severe, intense pepino test. And it goes like the cucumber virus. Every plant, bam, 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 and after 2 weeks, you can see it. You can see it in the fruits. And they slowly come through it, but it takes, so duur, 7-8 weken. It takes about 2 months to recover. And they put mildew on top of them. Mildew, okay, we go again. So they are really sick. And it's the same with cucumbers. The next year, tomatoes is 10-11 months. The next year I make the plants in the little greenhouse, you've seen it. We start again. The company goes by, takes the leaves. Are you clean? It's clean, how's that possible? Well, the same like in the cucumbers. So it works on viruses. But, there's only a but. This I proved big time. On many hectares, tomatoes I kept for myself. Because the tomato growers do the infection, it's not a big problem. But maybe in Finland, for sure in Germany, you're not allowed to infect the plants. So there is a market. Maybe there is a market. Peppers, the same story. They have some resistance in the peppers. TMV1 of 2, but
1, 2, and 3.
yeah, but I was called from an English grower. He said, well, Ron, maybe you can help me out. I have a virus in the peppers. It's not your variety, of course, but I think it might just work. Because a virus is a virus. Let's keep it simple.
Plenty of viruses.
Yeah. But the way the virus is built up.
Even there you have differences with RNA viruses, DNA viruses.
Oh, okay.
The way they replicate, it's not as straightforward as you
think it might be. Okay. But in pepino I proved that it works. There's no discussion about it. So we have two. I'm not a salesman in that way that I want to sell this afternoon, not at all. But we can help out. The proof's there. That's what it is, more or less. Good.
Okay.
I can tell you a funny story about beer drinking, but it's not going to help anyone.
Okay, thank you, Ron.
Okay? Business cards, internet, website.
Can you do your action in a preventive way, or is it only?
Well, it's double. I was in Poland. I was invited in Poland in September, and this guy came up to me and said, "We have no virus, so it's fine for you. Keep it that way." Who's coming in your greenhouse? He's going to talk about it. Who's coming in? Oh, lots of people from Holland, blah, blah, blah. You will get the virus. Don't be afraid, you will get the virus. But if you're not sure, that's your question, if you're not sure if you have a virus, then I would say, yeah, go for the preventive way. Because if there was one, for 99% you can cover it. Makes sense. And you know, another thing to round up. It's let's not talk even about 14 or 20 cents, whatever, and a ticket. It's easy mathematics. Easy mathematics. If you lose 10 cucumbers, average price Finland, 40 cents? 14? Hello, reaction please. What's the average price? Average price for cucumbers, selling price.
So is approximately 40 yes.
So 10 cubes, then you know what you lose. An investment for 14 or 20 or 25 cents in total. That's it. You understand what I'm telling you now?
Are you working mostly with viruses that are mechanical, or have you also worked with viruses
by insects. You don't tell what you are doing, but just a question about, because the pepino and CDMMB is on mechanical spread, but when you start speaking about viruses spread by insects,
Yeah, insects, you mean trips?
for example,
Well,
or Venetia.
Yeah, I have strong doubts about the trips spreading the virus. But there is some discussion going on about this item. But I know a little bit about the virus in the greenhouses. What I mostly do is I sit with the growers, with the managers. First you talk about cleaning up the place. And then you have the water system. Water. Then you have, Martijn is going to talk about, let's say, the boxes. It's a mindset. It's a total mindset about virus. And it goes further, let's spray it like this. No. It's a little bit more complex. But birds, that's a big one. We talked about it. Birds, mussen, those little brown birds, mussen, that's huge. That's huge. But trips, I don't know. I don't know if they do. Maar misschien dat Martijn, you can go into that.
Actually, for me, it's also a big question. Whitefly, you mentioned, trips. I'm not sure whether they
No.
are able to transfer the virus.
No.
Of course, they do transfer other viruses, but in this case,
Yeah. And you know what? When you go, virus is, number one problem is stress. When a plant goes into stress, let's say, de-leafing, two cucumbers, hot weather, stress. And when he has the virus, he will show it way faster than I'm happy, I don't have to work over here. So stress, and then when you have stress, insects become stronger. Red spider, for example, mildew. The less stress in the greenhouse, the less problems you have. If I'm healthy, I don't get the flu. If I'm weak, I get the flu. In that perspective, I see it.
Can I add a comment about the insects? Well, I was doing some searching about information regarding whether insects spread this particular virus.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I found was that a leaf beetle that munches the leaves away. So it's basically causing mechanical damage.
Yeah.
So that animal, that insect has been shown to spread it. But of course, Bemisia and thrips, their way of spreading their viruses is different.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
so really we have to speak about two different types of spreading mechanisms here.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to answer
Knife.
to your question, Tommy. So.
The knife, the scissor, hands, clothes, I don't know. Clothes, I don't think so.
But I have a question still. So you would you say, Ron, that your method is specific for this virus, the cucumber virus, and pepino, or is it a general method to combat viruses that are spread mechanically?
Yeah. But the other ones you get for free. It's in the same process.
Oh,
But
right,
I-
okay, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can get the bonus, but okay. But the method I worked with was aimed at the bad virus. And that's why I developed this virus. But what's the other one? Mosaikvirus. Cucumber mosaikvirus. You know mosaikvirus? In the cucumbers, for sure, you must have seen it.
It's spread by aphids.
Aphids and water.
Aphids is the main vector of
Yeah.
the cucumber mosaikvirus. And actually, after one cleaning period, it's not persistent in the crop.
Then it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. You remove the crop, you clean it like you normally clean it.
And the yellow leaf virus from the whitefly, you know the yellow leaf virus from the whitefly? No?
They know. We are
Slaapgele
very
virus?
afraid of it here.
Huh?
We are very afraid of it.
Well, it's not a bad virus, it's not that bad. But if you have a whitefly? No, the bad virus is way bad, then the other one is bad. Okay. Witte vlieg, waar komt het vandaan? Uit de slavengele komt van de witte vlieg, de sla? Volgens mij komt het van de lettuce.
Lettuce yellow infectious virus.
Ja.
it's transferred by whiteflies, but it can also, whiteflies can come from flowers as well, or they can come from the outside, from the
Yes,
from
yes.
the bees outside the greenhouse. But those viruses are, regarding the impact, it's far less dangerous
Then this one, then the bad one. Okay, I'm done.
I have a question
Okay.
still. You mentioned.
You know I'm getting more expensive now, eh?
I know I have to dig into my pocket, but still, you mentioned that you can get 100% success, but it depends on the grower. So what do you mean? What does the grower have to do? I'm not asking the details, but
Three words.
in general.
3 words. Discipline, discipline, and discipline. And then you talk to the greenhouse manager, and you said to the greenhouse manager, discipline, discipline. And then you go to the people below him, and then you go to the people that have to do the dirty work, and you say, everybody has to be convinced of the fact that there may be another job more in the next year. That's back to basic, eh? No more, no less. And I say it's very simple because I do it. I have experience as a cucumber grower, as a plant raiser, and in the little business I do now. And I always work with discipline, discipline, discipline. A grower has to be in the greenhouse. Period. Every day, 7 hours a day at least. How's my climate? How are my plants doing? And how are my people doing? Because the people work for me. Even on a Sunday you have to be in the greenhouse, but it has nothing to do with the virus. More questions? Last chance? No? Okay, Martijn, go ahead.
First, I will introduce myself. My name is Martijn van Passen. I'm from the Netherlands. I work at enheten now for about 7 years. I'm a cucumber breeding manager. So actually, with respect to that, I'm responsible for the breeding activities that enheten is doing for cucumbers in the Netherlands. I will come to later in my presentation, come a little bit more to talk about what enheten is doing and what we are doing worldwide. And of course, you know Thomas probably better than me. It's good that he's here as well. I don't know if it's. In the agenda, I think the title of your presentation is partial CGMV resistance, but actually we have to talk about intermediate resistance to CGMV. I will come to that. But it's. So I'll briefly talk about enheten. Give you who knows enheten? Who doesn't know enheten? Everything is well known to you. Okay, and then we can keep it briefly. Then I will talk actually about what you are coming from, about the virus itself, and about the resistance that we claim in those varieties. And there's time for questions and discussions at the end. Okay. Briefly about enheten, and I want to point out, you can read, I've discovered, but I think this is important for me, international, innovative, and independent. Actually, when you ask me the reason why are you working for a company like enheten, I want to work in an international environment. I want to be innovative with my colleagues, and I really like to work in an independent company. As enheten, we are already for lots of years independent of any bank, for example. It's very important. So we know how to keep our trousers on a good level, how to say. So we are now about 78 years old, and yeah, this is our core business. We are working in more than 20 vegetable crops right now, and I think it's about 26 or 28 exactly. And every few years we add some new crops. Recently we added broccoli and even asparagus. Asparagus has been added to our portfolio. And international, well, the company I work for is really international, we call it multi-local. So it means that we breed in the climatic area where the vegetables are grown. So that means that we have R&D, commercial and production stations all over the world. Here you see a small list of enheten, the research station. It's 17, but it's 18 in the meantime, because last year we have started in Malaysia. These are our daughter companies, has been added last year as well, one in Ukraine. We have 3 own production areas in South America, in Africa, and South Africa. And we also have a few joint ventures. But as you can see, we are actually active worldwide, local for local. So here, California, Mexico, Florida, Brazil, Argentina, Tanzania, big production location, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Indonesia, 2 stations in China, a new station in India. This is our daughter company in Moscow. Throughout Europe, we have several stations. This is the last slide about our company. So we are one of the few independent remaining family companies. So we are not like a Monsanto or Syngenta or Bayer. We are more in the league of Bio, Rijkswaterstaat, independent. I think I had to update this slide because I think in 2015, Thomas, there were only 1,500 employees. So we raise about 200 employees every year. Also, this number in Enkhuizen in the Netherlands, last year it was 500, it has been added up to 550. Lots of stations worldwide, 26 countries where we are working for. I think about 28 vegetable crops. Very important this, when you talk about innovation, 30% of our turnover is going back to our R&D activities. And that also displays why the amount of employees in R&D is so high. 50% of all 1,700 employees. And the level of education is at least a bachelor or master degree. Okay. Cucumber breeding in the Netherlands, actually we only breed for protected heated crops. So that means, let's say it spans from Canada, United States, to Europe, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Scandinavia, of course, into Poland, Eastern Europe, Russia, and then you go to Australia, New Zealand. There's some heated crops there over there, and some, and in South Africa. So actually, it's all areas in the northern hemisphere. We work in the Netherlands, in Enkhuizen, in our station. We work on these 5 types, long European types. By far the most important one, but for Poland and Russia, Ukraine, mini is very important. Mini, we see increasing market for mini cucumbers in Canada, but also in the Netherlands, and even in Spain. We were in Spain last week. We see Katrina types growing there. Snackers, that's very for convenience market in the Netherlands itself. So 35, 40, 45 grams. And well, in Russia you see a lot of new greenhouses are being built, and actually they are very well able also to grow these kind of varieties in their new greenhouses. Okay, CGMFE. A little bit more about what it is all about. Cucumber green mottle mosaic virus, complete full name, and it's a member of the family of the Tobamo viruses. So, like in animals, people, plants, also the viruses have different families, and actually it belongs to the same family as tobacco mosaic virus. This is tomato mosaic virus, pepper mild mottle virus. So those are very important viruses in solanaceous crops. Already present for a very long time. First discovered in 1935, so 81 years ago. Actually, it was found in the UK. And it grows on lots of cucurbit plants, cucumber, melon, watermelon, pumpkin, gourds, bitter gourds, bottle gourds. This is a picture of the virus, so very elongated particles. And symptoms, of course, Ron already showed a lot of pictures. So mottling on both leaves, but also on fruits. It's a bit difficult to see, but I'm sure you will recognize fruit symptoms. And distortion of growth. Transmission, we have talked about that already a lot. In my opinion, people is maybe the biggest threat for your plants. There's birds, there's some beetles, as Irena mentioned. Little bits of transfer via pollen. Luckily, there's no pollen involved in cucumber growing, but for seed-producing companies, for example, this is of an issue. Infected seeds can be a danger, of course. And then you come to the situation that grows themselves. So the water, the dripping water, the water that is being recycled, the roots in the slabs, the soil, and then the trolleys, the crates, the telephones. So it's hugely infectious. Worldwide spread. Ron also already mentioned Canada, the UK, Germany. We've seen few examples in France recently. Thomas and I were in Spain last week, end of last week. We saw in Spanish varieties, Spanish crops, we saw virus. We've seen it in Poland, in Russia, in the Netherlands. Actually, I'm a bit, I'm happy for you, but I think Finland is one of the last countries where this virus has just appeared. And I think you should be happy with that. And as Ron also mentioned, once you have it in your country, not necessarily in your company, but the virus is here to stay. You as a grower will have to find a way to live with it and to get rid of it as best as possible. But it's a utopia to think that it will get out of this country. Seeds, in case of infected seeds, of course, but there is a protocol of seed disinfection treatment. 76 degrees for 72 hours in the stove, in the oven. It's possible. Yields, very difficult to calculate and very difficult. It depends from grower to grower, but can easily be up to 25%. And the viruses, well, there are different strains. I show here two of them, but there are more. This is the type strain. The fruit symptoms, it's a bit difficult to see, but there are some fruit symptoms. This is pretty common in the Netherlands. But if you go to Eastern Europe, this is a fruit. This is a fruit. It's not a leaf. This is the top of the plant. The Alcuba strain is actually more aggressive, with clear fruit symptoms. Symptoms can be influenced. Dutch growers, in general, they don't have problems until, let's say, April. First symptoms, first notifications of the virus, they start about April, May. Actually, it's when the summer is coming. So the plants, they experience more stress. Temperatures get higher. Sometimes the temperatures get higher, but there's not enough light. So stress, Ron mentioned it, stress in general for the plant makes it easier for the virus to show. I already mentioned the strain, different isolates, different strains of the virus give different symptoms. Here you see also another strain compared to this is the most common strain in the Netherlands. Of course, it depends on which variety you're growing. Really susceptible, Roxanne was already mentioned. I think any variety with a certain level, even to other viruses, already adds up to a little bit of less symptoms. And I come to the resistant varieties later on, of course. At what stage? Is it in a young stage? Sometimes plants get infected already 2 weeks after planting. Some plants get, well, just a week before removing the crop. So actually the induction time, that's if a plant gets infected, 2 to 3 weeks later you will see if it goes by natural infection, not the inoculation by hand, but natural infection, 2 to 3 weeks you will see your the symptoms. So you think there is nothing going on, but wait 2 or 3 weeks and you will see the difference. Old and young leaves, old leaves in general show, always look in the head. Old leaves it's more difficult to show those symptoms. And well, there's not so much umbrella. Are there any umbrella crop growers here, or it's all high wire, I think. But it's possible, eh? Yeah, this is the same plant. 2 laterals on the same plant. This lateral doesn't show anything, and this is with inoculated plants, and this side shoot is full of viruses. So also on the same plant, it can be completely different. Even fruits on the same plant. These are a bit late harvest, but and this is also with that aggressive Alcuba strain. Really, it looks like a minor. It's like a
Caterpillar.
Yeah, caterpillar. But this is no. The caterpillar has not been eaten. No, these are really spots, brown spots on the fruit itself. Okay, this is a bit technical. Slide. Even I have to read it twice or 3 times. But actually, resistance has been found. Let's say, well, I think if I speak for ENSA, we are working already on this for, let's say, beginning of 2000, 2002, something like that. So resistance has been found in cucumber germplasm. And it looks like the defensive mechanism of these plants. It looks like when a plant is being attacked by a virus, it looks like this defensive mechanism starts to work. So it kind of protects the cells from being infected and consequently showing symptoms. It's very technical. If you want to read the article in your spare time, if you can't sleep at night, try this. But it's very difficult. So actually, what does it mean for you? This talk that Ron and I've been talking about. This is for me, but this is for me the start. If you are a grower, and I really hope that for you you can stay. For the rest of your life without this virus. This is the basics. Every visit you have to take into account what is coming into my greenhouse, what is going out into my greenhouse. And then I say people are the most dangerous. So whenever you have visitors, always ask them to wear overall boots and gloves. You can also ask them, it's a very simple question. Just ask them not to answer the telephone or pack it in a plastic. There are plastic bags available. But I think people underestimate the infectious power of a telephone. Just ask your visitor, please don't answer your telephone, because I have problems with it. It's simple. And crates. I think in the Dutch in Dutch circumstances, crates that are being delivered to cooperatives with produce, they are thoroughly cleaned after use. We see more and more, let's say, crates that are for single cardboard boxes that are for single use. So also Dutch growers, there's already the awareness starting to grow that what goes out of my greenhouse, it can, in a certain way, it can also go back in, and it can bring all kinds of problems. In Spain, they have a lot to learn, and we saw that last week. We were visiting a cooperative. But we see there the crates of hundreds of growers, all coming together, and there's no grower who knows where those crates are going back again. So that's a huge risk. Okay, a bit about the mechanism behind our resistance, and this is very important message. We see a delayed symptom development. So I have to be, there is no immunity. The plants are not immune. They will get symptoms in the end, that's for sure. But to show you what the difference is, here we have a susceptible hybrid. And in our way of scoring, resistant hybrid scores 8, there's no symptoms. And here full of symptoms, really full of symptoms, that's a score 2. You see, these plants, they were not at Ron Peter's place, but in another place. But 2 weeks after planting, they were infected with the virus, and then this was the first observation. So about 2 to 3 weeks after infection. So the susceptible hybrid still looks okay, but the weeks after really goes down, and then at the end, this kind of improvement towards really the big downfall in resistance level. And this is the situation as it is right now. So resistant line, we work with hybrids. So parental lines, we test parental lines and hybrids. They can stay for a higher level for a long time. And even in the end of the crop, week 9, they still remain a clear difference towards the susceptible varieties. But be aware, there's no immune. There's no immunity. So we have also already discussed a little bit about this. We talk about symptomless carriers. So you think the plants look clean, they look without symptoms. This is done with the ELISA test. So resistant material, in the end, the virus can propagate in the plant itself, but it doesn't show. The symptoms are absent, but if you do an ELISA test, you will find particles of the virus in those plants. This is the negative control, so non-infected plants, and this is the positive. Here I showed again the symptoms, the phenotype of the symptom. So resistance, 8, that was without symptoms, and 1.8 or 2 is full of symptoms. We also did our test, I think this is a test from 2015, in a Dutch greenhouse, in a greenhouse with CGMV history. So first crop, probably there was no problem, but second crop, normally umbrella crop growers, 3 times planting in the year. First planting in December, January, second planting normally in April, March, April, third planting in June. The history of this greenhouse, so got infected during the summer crop. Planting of our variety Delight on the 20th of June. On the same slabs, the slabs are still the same. End of the crop was November. So until August 10th, so that is about 7 weeks after planting, the symptoms were not there. And later on there was some print in the growing tips. And And that is, I think, a big advantage of our resistant varieties. There were no fruit symptoms at all during this cropping period. So conclusions. Well, you see the pictures, you think one plant, it's fully infected, but there are laterals that show expression. There are laterals that don't show the symptoms at all. So it's difficult to predict that. Very important is what is the stress situation of the plant. Is there a high fruit load? Are the weather conditions stressful? Are there powdery mildew, stressful situations, or spider mite, stressful situations? That all those aspects increase the symptoms. Very important message. So you think you have a clean greenhouse, but I really advise you to clean, especially when you are in an area when neighbors or colleagues, or where you are in an area where there is virus present. Just consider your greenhouse, when it comes to cleaning, just consider your greenhouse as being infected, because the use of resistant plants does not always show you the symptoms. The mechanism of intermediate resistance, there is a big delay in showing the symptoms compared to susceptible varieties. So, overall conclusion, it does not prevent infection, but it lowers the impact for the growth. So it's kind of a buffer, kind of
Slow down.
Yeah, the fifth wheel, the spare wheel in your car, you can come home with it when you have a flat tire. I'm not a commercial guy. My commercial colleague is over there. So, but I want to show you these three varieties. Delight, Desire. They have been on commercial base already now in the second year. They are grown in the Netherlands, in France, in the UK, in Germany. We have 22.99 in trial. It's kind of follow-up of Delight. To my experience, the fruits are shorter, so probably can be a little bit more interesting for Scandinavian growers. These are really fruits that are suitable for Dutch, even French, German situations. Here the fruits are definitely shorter. Powdery mildew, highly resistant, very important. CGMV, we will always claim intermediate resistance. I've shown you the pictures. In the end, it will be possible that your plants will show symptoms. And we as a company, we have the policy that whenever the situation arises that there are symptoms available or possible, we will never claim a high resistance level when it comes to viruses. And I think that was more or less my last slide. Are there any questions or remarks from your side?
Let's give an applause to Martijn.
Any questions? Was this a bit what you expected from somebody from Yrkesakademin to talk about, or was it a big surprise? Or,
Oh, they knew you was coming.
you knew that I was coming. So.
Unless anybody else, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned, did I get it right, that if I try to put sort the mechanism of the resistance, it sort of amplifies the defense mechanism of the plant,
Yes.
which of course comes with a cost. But the cost for the plant is smaller than the losses by the virus.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. It's kind of mechanism that the plant can deal with the situation. So, of course, you see all the symptoms when you see the pictures of the symptoms. The leaves get mottled. Their whole, let's say, metabolism is kind of disrupted. So this mechanism of resistance is a way for the plant to deal with it to deal with that and to have the metabolism level as less as disturbed as possible.
But it's just a survival strategy.
It is, for that moment, it's survival strategy. Yeah.